I've always liked doing a lot of research. I feel that is one of my strong points. Whenever I used to do any work, and be it in my business, which I ran for 8 years, or even during my teaching career, or for that matter, now that I am into a client facing role, helping my clients achieve success through digital marketing efforts. Through all of these different journeys, research is something which has stayed with me for a very long time. And in an ideal situation, if I would have got a lot of money, I would have just done research and research and research. But anyway, that's beyond the point of what I'm trying to say over here. Yesterday, I was having a talk with one of my very close associates, and they mentioned this is a property. They have a property. They have several properties across US, but they were mentioning that since the FIFA World Cup is being hosted by three countries of USA, Canada, Mexico, they were looking at how to capture the demand. People would be flying over to these places near the stadiums. They would be staying somewhere while they are going to see the matches. So will be demand for places to stay as in accommodations. And how does one capture that demand? So that was an intriguing question which I got. And truth be told, with the kind of work that I need to do, I don't get to do this research that often anymore. So once this question was posed, I really that portion of my mind started tingling, and I quickly did a little research on what are the venues for the FIFA 2026 World Cup. So I see that the United States is having 11 cities in which these matches would be hosted. Mexico has 3 cities, and Canada has 2 cities. I see that there are 11 cities across US, and I do happen to have clients across all of these big cities. So I was thinking, how would a guest who is coming over to these places to see a match even go about choosing a property where they'd want to stay? And I just took one such example. I was taking the AT&T Stadium in Dallas. First thing I wanted to do is try and understand from Google Trends what is the trend that I am seeing for this stadium. I'm trying to specifically see broad keywords which are related to the World Cup. So I see World Cup draw, World Cup group games, FIFA World Cup draw. There's some Japanese or Chinese. Mm, but yeah, that's it. I'm not seeing anything as such related to accommodations per se. Next thing that I do is I go into categories and I try and see travel related search terms. Has there been any uptick? Again, I've not changed the location, it's still worldwide. What I'm seeing is from Austria and Japan, there's some interest. United States, obviously, being the primary market which is interested in searching for the stadium. Then, when I come down and I look at the related search terms, I see, okay, first thing that I get to see, which is related to a property or hotel accommodations, low is Arlington Hotel. Okay. Beyond that, what I see is flights to Arlington, Texas. Again, naturally, if someone's wanting to come over here, they will be searching for these. That's it. I don't see any more as such keywords. But this is the rising keyword. If I look at the top keywords in the past 90 days, now this is where it gets interesting. I see that people are searching for hotels near AT&T Stadium. So I want to dig a little deeper into this. I search for hotels around AT&T Stadium in a Google search like that, and I find these three in the local pack, and I want to see a little more of the properties. So as a user, I want to see what are the other options. So by default, I'm seeing these properties, and as I'm extending the map, what I'm also able to see is this is a 15-minute walking distance radius that is being shown over here. If I increase it to 30 minutes, it increases a little more. On the other hand, instead, if I took a driving thing and I put in, say, suppose an hour, so this is the radius that I'm looking at. Now, interesting thing to look over here is there are 15,000 properties, which is what one can choose from. 15,000. Honestly speaking, if you're a hotel in this area trying to capture the demand for the FIFA World Cup, I guess the first thing that you need to understand is You're competing with 15,000 other properties across the board. Now, this includes 4-star, 5-star, 1-star properties, includes properties with various amenities, but that's beside the point. The first thing that you need to understand is how many players are you competing against with when you're trying to capture the demand. Now, naturally, you would know your audience. So, as a property, you know that anybody who is going to come to our property is health conscious and loves a dip in the pool in the morning before they do anything else. So, your audience will also be searching with respect to these results. The moment I select a pool as a filter, you see the competition set directly reduces from 15,000 to right now we are around 2,706 properties, or yeah, 6 results. That's good. Now, if you again know that anybody who has ever stayed your property is, for them, ratings matter a lot. So what you do is you go ahead and put in a 4.5-star rating as a filter. From there, what we see it, the results get even more narrow. We are at 908 results. Even after putting a couple of filters, what I see over here is, at any point of time, if someone's looking at hotels near the AT&T Stadium, which is an hour's driving direction, and just to keep the vanity, if I move it till 30 minutes, even then we are looking at approximately, how many properties are we looking at? 95 results, 100, give or take 100, odd properties. This is where I need to be very candid with you. Anybody who is trying to woo a guest coming to see the matches at the AT&T Stadium. To explain, I'll try and give an analogy. I'm very bad at analogies. You can ask my wife, she can vouch for it. And my jokes are even worse, but I'll still try and use them. Like, imagine this: your property is like the man or the boy who is trying to woo a girl, which is the guest. At this present moment of time, the girl has 100 options, quite literally 100 options to choose from if he wants to go out with this guy or that guy. And these guys are basically hotels. Would you want to compete in a situation where the girl is basically going through a list of all the boys or men that he can date? Or you do something interesting so that the girl gives you attention for something which you've done which is interesting? Which out of these two options do you feel you would want to use as a strategy? And very bad analogies, I know. Choosing your wife, your girlfriend isn't exactly a strategy. But if you ask my wife, she knows that I did, use some sort of a strategy. But anyway, to the point that I'm trying to make over here is, if you are just trying to compete with hundreds of properties in such a Google listing, it may become difficult for you to even come up when the guest is searching for you. On the other hand, if you do something unique, wherein the guest is bound to see the unique activity that you've done, then maybe there's a chance the girl takes note of your presence. Then maybe there's a chance the guest takes note of your property. And instead of searching hotels around AT&T Stadium, the guest actually searches by your hotel name. If you're with me till now, there are two things which I'd want to do. Number one, I would really love to have a conversation around, hoteliers who are having properties in and around AT&T Stadium, and what do they feel they can do unique to attract the guest, apart from, these listings. Every hotel has these listings. That's one activity which I really want to do. I don't know if any hotel operator would want to join me in that session, but I would love to do that. Second, I'm just throwing out an idea as a starting point. What unique things can be done? Bear with me. So, In general, I'm a big, in US they call soccer. I'm a football fanatic. And, like, I used to play for my local club, and avid follower of Manchester United. Uh, you know, Primarily due to Sir Alex Ferguson, Paul Scholes. But that's not important. What I used to do in football matches, what we see, fans carry these football scarves for the team that they are supporting. Now, if you are in Arlington, Dallas, where the AT&T Stadium is, what if, as a property, you give away scarves to fans, and the scarves obviously are, the scarves which is supported, which the particular guest is a supporter of, the moment they book staying at your property. This is the unique thing that you are trying to do. But important is, how does guests get to know about this unique thing that you're trying to do? Number one, you can start promoting it on social. Anybody who's booking, with our property, wanting to stay, who's wanting to see a match at the AT&T Stadium gets a. If you're traveling with your family, everyone gets that scarf. Just let us know your fan, which country you support, and we'll get it for you when you check in. So the moment someone checks in, you basically give that scarf, something like that. So that's something which you can do on social. But beyond that, in fact, even before that, trying to understand which news publications, magazines are willing to cover this news, because you figured this is a very unique thing that you are doing, which no one else in your market is doing, which is a newsworthy thing, which news outlets would want to cover. So that's your PR kind of a mechanism of getting outreach done. So, which are the countries which are coming to play? Japan, Netherlands, England, Croatia, Argentina, Austria. Oh man, I'm getting, like, it's sad that I'm not going to be able to see these, but imagine there are these six different countries. So all you basically need to do is figure out a way in which you can source, scarves for these six different countries. You have them, and you go out and inform the market that, hey, if you're coming over for these matches and you want to support your team, if you end up staying at our property, we'll give you these scarves with which you can cheer. And that's like also a memento that you would be taking. So this is just one idea which I wanted to plant in your head in terms of what, as a property, and I'm again giving that analogy, the property is the man, the boy, the guest is the woman, the girl whom you're trying to woo. So what is that unique thing that you can do as a man, as a boy, to ensure that you are getting the right kind of attention from that girl? What is that unique thing that you can do as a property to ensure that guests take note of you? And hopefully, if you've been with me till now, which I guess you would not be, no one really watches any of my videos, but if you've been with me till now, you should be able to back calculate the amount of revenue that you can generate for these days if people start staying at your property. Basis on that revenue, you can figure out what sort of a marketing budget you can put in the social media awareness, the PR awareness,